Hey guys, this is what I've been working on. Piles and piles and piles of copper. I'm trying to get through a couple gaylords here. Cut it all apart. Cut the brass off. I got tons of these coils. And we're going to keep filling up these two gaylords here. Let me keep going, I'll show you as we go. Here we go, guys. I'm about an hour and a half into this project. This gaylord's getting down there. There's still quite a bit in there. But I definitely made a big dent in it. Some bulky stuff here I just threw on the ground just to get it out of my way. Some pipe that falls but I can't catch. I'll pick that up later. And then here's everything that's got to get separated from brass. Here's the number 1 gaylord. It's about half full. And the number 2 gaylord, that's about half full, maybe a little bit more. I still got 3 more gaylords full of pipe here to go through. And that one over there, right over there where those pipes are sticking up out of, that's already about halfway, almost 3/4 full of number 1 pipe already cut apart. Let me keep at it. I'll show you as we go. Guys, make sure you're checking your fittings. Fitting on the left is brass. Fitting on the right is copper. This is here is going to go as number 2 copper. If I throw this in the bin with number 2 copper and the yard sees that, they're going to downgrade it to number 3 copper. The whole entire bin. So make sure you're on the lookout. Take all your brass out of your copper. I'll cut this little piece of copper off here and I'll throw this in my brass bucket. Another thing to look out for, guys, when you're separating number 1 and number 2 copper. This is number 1 pipe. Nice, clean, there's nothing on it. This looks like number 1 pipe, Some people might throw this in their number 1 bin, but you turn it over and there's paint on it. So this has to go in the number 2 bin. Same thing. Always check all the sides of the pipe. Cut it free when you can. That way you could separate all your number 1 and number 2. Don't give the yard any reason to downgrade you. This here looks like a piece of number 1 pipe, but it had oil running through it, so this technically is number 2 pipe because the oil residue. Same thing here. This has oil on it. This goes in the number 2 bin. Make sure you check that oil and the paint on your pipe, guys, so you get number 1 and number 2 and the yard gives you the proper price. This Gaylord is almost empty, guys. There's about a foot left down at the bottom there. It's all the small stuff. Most of it's number 1. A little bit of heavy steel right there, but we'll separate that out. Some nice big chunky stuff in here that was down at the bottom. Let me get it all cut apart and add it to our bin. Here we are, guys. This is the last pile right here on the ground from the first Gaylord. It's all empty. A lot of little pieces in here. It's pretty heavy, a lot of brass. I cleaned up some of the bench. Not much, but a little bit. I got 250 pounds of brass sitting there already. This Gaylord's almost right to the top. And I got some more in the number 2 bin. And I still got 1, 2, back behind the pallets there's a 3rd one. And I still got that Gaylord over there that's half full of number 1 already. A lot more to do. Getting going this morning here. Still working on this copper. I got all these coils here to cut. This bin I already showed you is empty. This one's getting down a little bit. There's a lot of big stuff in here. It's all tangled. A lot of coils down at the bottom. But we'll get through it. Here's some more coils right here piled up. A little bit of copper right here, oil lines. Another whole container full of brass. Number 1 and number 2 bin for copper. The pile on the bench is coming down. Then I got all these circulators and pumps to take apart. Let me get going and I will show you as we go. Piling up all these coils here today, guys. It's almost as tall as that whole Gaylord right there. This is not all of them. This is only a few that I got laying around. I'm going to cut all these, get these into the number 2 bin. Pull off all these brass fittings. The bench is still coming down. I keep adding to it though. A lot of circulator pumps and big valves down there I gotta still take apart. Bucket of brass is full. Number 2 is almost to the top. Number 1 is 3/4 full, maybe a little bit more. This bin here is going way down. Right back there, you can't see it, but behind that pallet that's standing up, there's a 55-gallon drum full of coils. I gotta go get that out next. I gotta move all these pallets out of the way. I got another pile of them stashed over there in the corner. They're kind of everywhere. I'm gonna start cutting those apart and throwing those in the bin. Let me keep going. I'll continue to show you bits and pieces. Alright guys, I'm headed up with 1 Gaylord full of number 1 copper. Let's go dump this one. Maybe I'll make another run today with number 2. Here's the first little pile of coils all cut apart. They're going in this Gaylord right here. I'm done at the scrapyard, guys. Bringing a half a barrel of brass. And an entire Gaylord of number 2. Number 2 copper. Let's get weighed. Let's see what we can make today.